Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pixelated Echoes. This is episode, what are we on? Episode 48. This is September 14th. Almost forgot the month. I forgot where are we at? I'm your host, 3-Bit. And if you're watching live, you already know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you guys don't miss any future episodes. And let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna introduce my co-host, the man who drifts through Forza, right into our podcast room. You see, he got a new setup, y'all. Things are looking a little different. We got the real life embodiment of Felix the cat, Fuzzy Belvedere. How you doing, man? And what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you. Man, it's been a while, but been playing a lot of Silksong. It's got its hooks in me right now. Like I played the first played Hollow Knight, made it to a certain point, like I guess before or just as you get fast travel, which is kind of early in the game, I think, or about maybe early to midway or so. And I got stuck. I couldn't figure out how to get the thing to move or something, which amazingly enough, I got figured out rather easily in the second one. So I feel like an idiot. So at some point, I got to go back to Hollow Knight and pick up where I left off and continue on. But making it a decent way through Silksong, enjoying it, dying a lot, learning from my mistakes. I probably should have made some videos or did some clips because I've had some awesome battles and some awesome deaths, like kill the boss and then fall into the grinder or
Yep.
slash the boss and thought they were dead and miraculously they're back alive again. Like there's no health bars on the boss. It's like they go away and then come back sometimes and kick your butts. Yeah, just having a lot of fun with that game. Still playing a lot of Division, still playing GT7 as you see in the background. Still playing a lot of Forza Horizon 5. I need to get back to Diablo. I put it on hold as I was getting everything set up and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but at some point it will fall back into that. But
I gotta jump in a game with you on Diablo. It's been a minute.
yeah. Like I made a lightning build and everybody gets electrocuted. Like it doesn't matter. You're standing on water, you're standing on fire, you're getting shocked. There's lightning balls, there's static between enemies. Everybody's dying. Like at least on what was it, Torment 2 or 3? No, I made it, I think the Torment 3, and I can solo a lot of stuff. Now I can't do the higher level nightmare dungeon things or whatever they replaced it, not the pit, but they call it something else now. And it's like little got to be a little more careful on that because my health goes down pretty quickly. But I can hold up through it for the most part. But yeah, we definitely got to hop on Diablo or
Yeah.
even Division because they got a new mode now. It's
Mm. Is that what
it's
they
not
were
called
teasing? It was like our last episode. I was like, they had a post about something.
yeah.
But what's the new update?
Well, it's not that update just yet. That one's still coming. That's going to be like Survival 2.0, where it's like real wintertime in DC kind of thing. Right now, it's not called Retaliation. It's something. It's based on the Pact, which each faction, as you do more harm to their members, they get angry at you, and they're gonna lash out. They're gonna start, taking over or wanting to take over other regions and stuff. So if you take out the hyenas on the eastern side of the map, they might move to the western side of the map, and you got like 7 minutes to 12 minutes to like wipe them all out before they, I guess, overrun that area. So it's like a race against the clock against waves of enemies. And they even have hit squads come after you. So like after you clear one of the checkpoints and stuff, you're on your way to the next checkpoint thinking, oh yeah, I'm a badass. And then it's like the hit squad comes out and they got snipers or they have heavy gunners or they might have like the rocket launcher guys or something. And
That's
and
awesome.
it's not like normal. Like I'm used to like resource convoys having like maybe three or four enemies at a time solo, maybe five or so. There was like seven or eight of them coming out of those doorways on some of those convoys before we even did the retaliation thing. So it was
Yeah.
like As soon as they're like, "Oh, Death Squad coming in," they're all named enemies, but it's not like they're real names. It'll be like, Death Squad member with a rocket launcher, or Death Squad sniper, or something like that. But they have better drops. So it's like as you're killing these enemies, they're dropping, what do you call them? Like the green gear
Hmm.
or named items and things like that. Although we did it only on challenging, I was tempted to do heroic, but until I get used to it, I figure it's probably best to do it on challenging to kind of get a feel for it. And they definitely up the challenge. It's not heroic level, but I can only imagine what heroic level is going to be with death squads because some of them hit a little hard, and I my shield build can take a lot of damage, but it doesn't put out as much damage. So I'm up there throwing all the SMG pellets at them, and it feels like I'm throwing peas at them or something like that. So. But it's a lot of fun. Me and Blam were doing that earlier today, and it's
Oh,
like, oh
nice.
yeah, oh I got some legendary like crafting materials and things like that. So be pretty interesting to see what other stuff they got up their sleeve.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. I have been jumping into Ready or Not. That game is very detailed. I had no idea. And I really dig that. I wasn't like I seen some gameplay snippets here and there. It's one thing to like see someone play it, then actually experience it because I didn't know it went that in depth with um like how you can manage your team to break into doors and things like that. And how you have like your blue team and your orange team, and you're like, oh, blue team, you can enter the door and you can smoke it, or just go ahead and go through the door. There's it does remind me of the old school um Rainbow Six type games, but think of like they probably got some inspiration from Tom Clancy games, like the older ones, because modern day ones aren't really um that tactical. The older games were a lot more tactical, and then as time has gone on, they got a little bit more actiony as our attention spans are getting worse. Uh, but it was really cool to see the game kind of like take itself seriously in that regard, where it's a little bit more tactical, which I really appreciate because not a lot of games are doing it that way anymore. And also, I really like the mission structure. I played the campaign, so I didn't play it with people. I know it's a whole other experience if you play
Mhm.
with people, like with a squad. Um, and I can also see that going really bad after playing the campaign. But it's really fun. I love games like that. I love Rainbow Six and stuff growing up. I played my first Rainbow Six game was on the N64.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking like, "Whoa, graphics are not going to get better than this." it's like it's like pixels moving around, but yeah, super cool. I'm glad I played that over the week. I had my sister-in-law. She came over because I gave her a Series S, and she's been playing it. And I'm like, "Ooh!" So she's
Nice.
introducing me to games. I'm like, "Oh shoot, okay." So she came over and she had the game, and you could do like a game share thing if someone logs on your account.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, okay, okay, I'll try it out. And I ended up really liking it. So I played that for a little bit. The mission structure is really cool. I like how there's like you get a briefing before you go into the mission. And in the briefing, it'll say something like, this guy is a gamer. He's known to have a pistol somewhere. Um, he might have a crew that has, if you actually read the briefing, you can be pretty informed when you actually go in. I know some people might skip it, like, okay, let's get to the game, but it's pretty cool. Like if you go into the briefing and you actually read it, it could mention like entrances that might be beneficial. Like it's like, oh, I don't think if you like try to enter from the back, there might not be anybody there. This little things like that. I'm like, I
Yeah.
miss games like that. I know, and I have different modes too. Sometimes I just want to hit things, and I'm like, I don't want to worry about what I'm doing. But sometimes I'm like, okay, let's learn. What are we doing? So I really appreciate it. playing Ready or Not. But then we also I've been playing a little bit of Silksong. Not enough to be like, all right, let's. I played hours of it, like really little of it, but I'm getting back into my side scrolling bag as well. So I've been playing some other side scrolling games. I can't remember the other one off the top of my head for some reason, but cool. I'm looking forward to hearing what further thoughts you have on that when we get to our third topic for Phil Silksong. But super cool. People have been waiting for that game for a long time, so we're definitely gonna talk about that. And then lastly, I've been playing Sonic Adventure Battle 2. I went back again. Sometimes I go like forward with when a new game comes out, and then all of a sudden I go like way back. And I'll go back to a game that came out like 10 years ago or something like that. So that's just the way I am. Outside of gaming, I've been talking to Fuzzy a little bit about it, but essentially I've been working on a TV show that is going to be officially announced. But you're the viewers, you guys are cool. It's going to be an adult comedy sitcom, and it has some pretty big names behind it. I am writing, directing it, and trying to finish it this month. We'll see. I'm also animating a lot of portions of it. It's like a mixture of different shows, like a Rick and Morty or a Futurama. So that is why some weeks I'm like, listen, y'all, I can't do it because I've been working on the show. Hopefully, like by next month, it clears up a little bit. Could focus on all the activities of October because I love Halloween and things like that. Maybe we'll do like a special Halloween episode.
Yeah.
But I want to do like horror games that month. I want to do some cool stuff. So hopefully we can finish the trailer by then. And then December as well. That'll be later on, but kicking butt. But
Nice.
all good things coming.
Oh, yeah.
But we got our first topic. Let me go ahead and go to our scene. Our first topic, Fuzz. Go ahead and let us know. Nintendo Direct, what we got.
Yeah. So Friday morning, and then, well, they'd let us know a little bit before then, but Friday morning, Nintendo decided to hold a direct early in the morning, like 9 a.m. Eastern time kind of thing. And they showed some new game. Well, not really a lot of new games, but some new stuff and some surprise classic things kind of returning. Like I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Nintendo fan. I was always a Sega kid, but me having a Switch 2, I was hoping to see like a new Mario game that was more in tune to like the way they did Donkey Kong Bonanza or something along those lines, or a remaster of the classics that I can buy as opposed to playing only through the subscription service. Sure, I know I can buy the old hardware and buy the games that way, but nah, I'm not trying to do that. I'd rather have it portable on my Switch 2, so when I'm on the go, I can play those things. But they showed like Mario Galaxy and a few other things that will have, or Mario Wonder, they'll have a few updates as far as for the Switch 2 versions. But I guess one of the weirdest surprises was the Virtual Boy,
Oh yeah.
which I I remember this device. I did not own this device. I had no interest in at the time, and I'm kind of glad for the health of my eyes that I didn't ask my parents for this device. Um, or at that point, I could have probably bought it myself, but I'm glad I didn't pick this one up. Like I said, I was the Sega kid. My sister and my niece were the Nintendo kids of the household kind of thing. So that being said, they unveiled the Virtual Boy, which is coming back. So that way you have the controller and some of the games through their subscription service, much like the N64 and the controller for that and stuff. They also, you know, dove into their bag of cardboard and
Mm.
had Labo version of this that you can use on your Switch 2 if you don't want to have the actual uh, device per se. And it looks cool. It's great to have in your collection of other Nintendo accessories, but yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, a little unusual.
Yeah.
But like I said, the main things were probably the two Galactic Adventures for like the Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. You also had with Super Mario Brothers Wonder, where they have the updates for the Switch 2, some new modes, possibly new characters. They also showed like for Resident Evil, as well as the Pokemon adventures for Legend Z to A.
Hmm.
They had some good stuff for those that were looking forward to it as far as the Nintendo Direct. But for me, I was hoping more so for like classic Mario or brand new Mario.
Yeah.
They didn't deliver, but this once again, the Nintendo is kind of like that additional gaming device for me at this point. So I didn't go in with expectations. Kind of, I wouldn't say skim through it, but since they didn't say, "Oh, they're remastering Super Mario Brothers World 3 or something like that," I wouldn't say I tuned out, but I was pleased that they at least had some other classics mixed up in there. And then I think we also wound up getting a date. Where was it? Where is it? Where is
Yeah. I'm trying to
it?
open up the.
I think we wound up getting a date for, was it Metroid 4? I could have sworn we had it, but yeah, like overall, not a bad direct as far as Nintendo Directs go.
Right.
But it could have drawn me in a bit more with some more Mario stuff, which I guess we now have word also that there's going to be a new Mario movie. So,
Hmm.
and Chris Pratt's returning, so there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty interesting Nintendo Direct, and Nintendo once again with their cardboard stuff that they're selling, but also a cool accessory for those that want to play the Virtual Boy stuff. I would like to see a Mario in VR,
Hmm.
but I know they're not going to put a Mario game on the Meta Quest or anything like that. Although it would be cool, but maybe at some point, maybe Nintendo does their own VR headset in the near future,
Yeah.
or they make it so you can use the cardboard on the Switch 2 like it's a VR headset or something like that, because that's going to be something to take a look at as well. But what were your thoughts on the Nintendo Direct?
Oh man. I I I was finding myself being in a super critical, like I I was really just trying to just enjoy the show, right? This is hard for me to do with Nintendo because I just have beef with Nintendo. If you guys have watched the past few episodes of PXE, but what I do like about Nintendo is their approach to gaming in general is like they're treating games like they're fun. And I do like that. I do like the fact that like not every game has to be super realistic or et cetera, et cetera. I do think they take advantage of the people with that philosophy and really overcharging for certain things. Like the fact that the Virtual Boy is coming back is cool, but it was a failed device when it came out, and it's $100 plastic replica. Just little things like I'm like, that's cool, and then they hit it with something else. Like they introduce a Pokemon. They haven't introduced a new Pokemon game in some time, but it's a Pokemon, like they'll do like side Pokemon games. Um, and they were like, here's a new Pokemon thing. They introduced DLC before the actual game. You're like, okay, just just little things like that. I found myself being a little like a Christmas stooge for certain things, but at the same time, there was some cool things in here. I have a list. I was trying to pull up a list of the different announcements because I couldn't remember all of it. I forgot some of those things that you even brought up. I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. We had a trailer for the second Mario movie kind of open up the show. It's titled Super Mario Galaxy Movie. That to me was like surprising because Galaxy was a game that came like way later in the Mario lore. Like there's been so many different Mario. There's no like this Mario needs to connect to this Mario. The Mario's, they're not really cohesive in story. Every Mario's different, but like I just thought that was surprising in terms of like where they're going with the story. But that was, pretty cool. They had like a teaser of that. It said Miyamoto shows Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Maybe that's why they did it. Super Mario Galaxy 2 will be getting a Switch release, which can be purchased separately, and that will be releasing on this October 2nd, according. I'm reading a Reddit post. This could be inaccurate. We also had a new Mario Tennis announced for Switch 2 called Mario Tennis Fever. 38 characters announced, including an adventure mode. I did see the adventure mode where it's based around baby versions. That's coming February 12th, 2026. We had Super Mario Wonder, which is getting a Switch 2 edition, which includes Meetup at Bella Bell Park, which looks to be versus and co-op mode. So that is coming spring 2026. So there's like... There are some cool announcements here. I think all the Mario or the bigger games that people do care about aren't releasing this year. I mean, we're headed towards the end of the year anyways, but you could look forward to like some of their bigger-ish announcements next year. They announced Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which will be spring 2026 as well. They showed this is a smaller thing, but Mortal Kombat was given a trailer. It's like the Legacy collection. I actually really want this game. It kind of snuck up on me. I'm like, I've seen the trailer like a million times. We all watched different showcases together. I'm like, I played that a million times. And for some reason, I just randomly, when they showed it again, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. So that's one thing from this show I can say. They got me hyped again for Mortal Kombat. That it's like a small trailer, but that will release on October 30th digitally, and then December 12th physically. That's my birthday. Heck yeah. They had a trailer for the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which will be launching January 22nd. That was pretty cool because the Switch 2 can handle things now somewhat. So that was cool to say. I was like, okay, all right. So that was pretty cool. They had some like amiibo things I don't really care too much for. And then after they did that, they showed Hyrule Warriors, Dragon Quest VII, and then they showed the Virtual Boy. So like what Fuzzy was saying earlier, that's coming to Nintendo Online expansion pack. It requires the dedicated accessory, which I believe is $100. So by putting the console into the Virtual Boy stand, the cardboard model will also be available, and that's kind of like, I wonder how much the cardboard is. Like, can I just make it?
20. I think it's 25, which in the grand scheme of things isn't bad, but still, it's cardboard.
It is funny that they're selling cardboard, but they've done it before. They'll get away with it again, I guess. They showed off Overcooked 2 using some camera thing. I actually don't remember that. But that's pretty cool. Stardew Valley they showed, of course. They showed some other games like Power Wash. I'm trying to see. Like what Fuzzy was saying, they showed off Resident Evil. 9 Requiem, and then they showed off 7 and 8, which is going to launch on Switch 2 on the same day as Resident Evil 9. So we're going to get 7, 8, and 9. And then the final announcement for the Direct was a new Fire Emblem game called Fire Emblem Fortunes Weave, which releases in 2026. So I sped through that. There's other one little small things like Danganronpa 2. I don't know what the heck that is. So overall, I thought it was like a decent show. I know there was a lot of criticism over certain things, like why for Pokemon, why are you announcing the DLC before the game even comes out? I was like, that's fair.
Yeah.
A lot more. I know they showed like Metroid stuff. That's what I was looking for. I could have swore they showed some Metro stuff. Am I crazy? Metroid. I don't see it on this list, but I thought they showed off some Metroid stuff. So overall, I thought it was okay show. Just reading a chat, someone mentioned how your Xbot or whatever. Okay, it says so glad I'm an Xbot instead of a Nintendo fan. I have the capacity to be a Nintendo fan. They just keep doing things I don't really care about, to be honest. Like, if they focus more on some of their other games, they have a huge history of just like so many different games, then maybe I could jump back in. And also like Smash Bros. Like, that's how you get me, someone who doesn't really care too much about Nintendo. Like, I'll just hop in and see, like, you jump in the club and see like what people are doing. Like, nothing yet. Okay, and then you jump back out. That's me with Nintendo. Like, I don't have to completely be on board with everything. But yeah, I think what would entice me as someone who doesn't look too much inside on the Nintendo spectrum is like a new Smash Bros. Maybe like a Star Fox, some Star Fox stuff. That would interest me. I do like Kirby games. I think Kirby is cool. I did like that Yoshi game they had up. But overall, decent show. What would you rate it? What's your
I
rating?
mean, see, it's difficult not being as much of a Nintendo fan, but I would say as far as from what I hear true Nintendo fans saying, it was at least a solid 7 to 8 range.
Mhm.
I do think more people wanted more from like a new Mario title, maybe a new Smash Bros. At this point, but I think all that they showed was sufficient and kept the fans happy. The only and I had a little bit more, I guess, slander for him on Friday,
Yeah.
just in the fact that being the Xbox fan, maybe this was an example of how not to handle a anniversary. Like with Nintendo, some of it's 30 years, some of it's 40 year. Like I think it's their 30-year anniversary for the Virtual Boy, and their 40th for Mario in general, or for Nintendo in general. But Xbox is going to have a big year next year where they got the 25th anniversary for Halo, as well as the platform itself, 20 years for Gears. And I think
Yeah.
even though it's not officially, a an associated, icon with their platform, it's more of an associated icon with the PlayStation platform. But now that they own Crash Bandicoot, I think he has a 30-year anniversary
Oh
coming
yeah, his is coming up.
next year. So they got a lot of anniversaries to sort through, and I think they will have a much better showing or celebration for those IPs. So I wouldn't say that this was an example of what not to do, but I'm looking forward to seeing how next year Xbox handles their new or handles their anniversary. as well as possibly showing some new hardware. I mean, we may even get to see some of the new hardware at the Game Awards
Hmm.
if the timeline matches up to the way they showed the Series console or at least the Series X. Maybe we see next generation hardware at this Game Awards. But even if we don't, I think next year they're going to do it big for Halo as well as Gears, as well as Crash Bandicoot, because they're even updating their social media profiles for that. And I think there's another, Crash Bandicoot game coming out. We're hearing that Machine Games hasn't finished doing the story for, Wolfenstein, so they're starting to talk about that more. I know it's going to be a while before we may see it, possibly, but they got a lot of things lined up for next year, and
Yeah.
even stuff that they're still surprising us and will likely surprise us before the end of this month. Although it's probably a bad kept secret at this point when it comes to Forza Horizon 6 and stuff, but that's the energy of what I expect when you're having an anniversary on something. Not necessarily knowing what to expect, but having an expectation and having it exceeded, like Xbox has been doing for this year and will likely continue in through next year as well. But me as a an occasional Nintendo fan, more so
Hmm.
for the classic stuff, I don't want to have to pay the subscription to always play Mario Brothers. I would rather just buy a new copy on my Switch.
Yeah.
But I guess they figure, oh, well, he'll pay 19.99 for 5 years or 10 years, and that's all we just even if you want to charge me $70, or dare I say this, I know this is heresy, but let's say $100 and I get, the original Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and like maybe Super Mario Brothers, well, two, three was more of my favorite.
Yeah, that was good.
I would say if that was a collection for $100, yeah, I'll give you my $100, but I don't feel like paying 19, and I know it's only 19 for the year for their subscription, but I'd rather just buy the game. I don't want like I don't have my PlayStation subscription because I don't do a lot of online games on there. Didn't when I was paying it for years, I wasn't playing that many online games there, so it's like I don't need it. It sucks that I don't have like cloud saves, but you know,
Yeah.
cloud saves are free on Xbox, which that's
It's
that's a
like,
whole nother debate.
yeah, I mean, we can get into that if you want. We got time. But I think also Nintendo making the artificial, um, like limited thing, like, oh, we're gonna run out of a digital copy. I'm like, oh, okay. um, I mean, to be honest, it got me because I was like, oh, I gotta get it before it never comes up. I think it was the Super Mario, the Power Wash one. I forgot what the heck that one's called. Um,
Yeah,
what the heck? Sunshine.
yeah,
Um, where that was up for a limited time, and then they took it off of stores. Like Nintendo, they know what they're doing,
yeah.
right? Like a lot of the people I seen videos and kind of complaints about this direct, and I agree with a lot of it. However, Nintendo's pockets is not changing much. So you guys talk a big game, but you guys aren't matching that energy with being like, well, I'm not going to support them. You'll be like, well, I'm just going to buy five games instead of you know
15.
15. Yeah, that'll show them. So we'll see what they end up doing in future games. I think Nintendo has a super talented development studios. I think um, they have the talent, they have the money. I think I would love for them to jump into some of their other franchises. I also think like kind of how they announced the Pokemon situation, and I've read a little bit into this where they want to they did like a Minecraft spinoff or something with Pokemon. I think they are setting themselves up so that only they can do Pokemon really, because they had some patent that was passed not too, and I'll look into this. It was something I saw briefly, They had a patent where summoning something is a Nintendo thing. Like if you summon any creature or something, they're trying to get rid of other games from being their competition because other games could pop up, do it better, and then Nintendo doesn't like that because they like to kind of not change the formula for what works. Especially, we've seen what game science can do, and especially I forgot which show that was, but we finally seen game science do a different game, and you're like, oh shoot, this is what you guys could do. You guys are being locked up by Pokemon up there.
Yeah.
So they're a super talented studio, but I feel like they are made to just kind of be mediocre because they're like, hey, you could quickly turn those games around. But when a game like Power World does come out, they're like, hey, what if we take a different approach on this? We put a little bit more effort into certain areas. That's kind of what people want, but that's not profitable for Nintendo. They are very protective over their IP. Like it's actually insane. Like every time I post clips or videos or the direct of Nintendo, I'm almost expecting for the stream to get flagged, or something. It's kind of why I'm using older direct footage. You guys could check out the actual direct. But I'm always like skeptical because Nintendo don't play about their stuff. Their lawyers are always on the ready.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah, go ahead.
whole patent thing, like I look at it from two sides. Side
Mhm.
one, which I think is more of probably their devious plan and probably um, a bit of a negotiation tactic. Like, okay, it makes sense. They'll go after the smaller devs like your Pocket Pair and whatnot. But I think what it winds up doing, instead of like making it so they're the enemy to these devs, they're still going to be the enemy to some extent, but it makes it so that way if somebody wants to make a game that might be similar to Pokemon, let's say, or any of these things that they try and patent that are very vague,
Yeah,
if that dev has any doubts that their lawyers will send a cease and desist, what Nintendo could be like, hey, we'll ignore all of that if you port it to the Switch too. If you give us like a timed exclusive. Like I'm not saying that's what they did for Hades 2 or anything like that, because they already had a deal prior with Hades 1 coming to the Switch before it came to PlayStation and Xbox, but maybe they use that to, kind of force the hand where it's like, well, this looks like a game that should be on the Switch. How about you put it on the Switch, or, it'd be a shame if our lawyers had to talk to you about that kind of thing. So I could see it being used more for leverage or
mm,
negotiation to some extent. But on the flip side of things, I hate the fact that it could stymie innovation. And it's not like people are jumping up and down to make games where you summon a creature to fight for you kind of thing. But like me and Blam and Corkestein talked about it, where it's like, hey, what if the Nemesis system wasn't patented? Imagine
right.
how many games could benefit from that. I mean, they basically patented it, and it's something sitting on a shelf that everybody's kind of afraid to touch. And it's not like somebody's going to go over there to WB and like, well, how much is licensing? And they'll be almost like Dr. Evil, like $1 billion. No, like nobody's going to do that. So
Right.
it's something that's kind of like a waste of gaming mechanics, and I don't think that's something that should be patented. Like, okay, if you want to patent the look of Mario so nobody makes a Wish Mario where he's wearing blue instead of red, or where he's wearing red they wear blue. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be like
Flip
inverse
inverted.
Mario or Wario kind of thing, but still, like, I think this is the stuff that there should be more pushback on, because let's look back at other similar copies per se. And I joked about this, but like, where would Epic be if Player Unknown had patented the battle royale format? I'm pretty sure there was battle royale before
Yeah,
PUBG, but let's say they patent that
they were
idea.
kind of, yeah.
Where would Epic be today? because it wouldn't be the Fortnite that we know. It would be the original Fortnite that nobody wanted to play. I won't say nobody, because there were a few people that were, that bought the not the creator packs,
For
but
the
like the
hordes and stuff.
foundation packs and stuff for the Save the World type of thing.
Mm.
But nobody was really playing that in comparison to when they did the Battle Royale. So if somebody like PlayerUnknown patents the Battle Royale, where is that genre right now? Are we still playing PUBG, or everybody grown tired of the Battle Royale and there is no Apex Legends? There is no, Fortnite that as we know it today. There aren't any of all of these other Battle Royales that popped up. And some people might be like, yeah, that's a good thing. But I think in the grand scheme of things, like when you look at something like Battlefield, when they did the Ring of Fire, that was a good spin on how you close the killing area or the playing field to some extent. So when you patent things, you prevent other innovations or iterative, ideas on that genre or spin-offs in a way. So I would rather they not allow a patent like that. Like if they want to patent characters, sure. If they want to
Mm.
patent certain names or like certain worlds where every building has a mushroom roof, although I think the Smurfs might have, something to say about that type of deal. But like if it was something along those lines, I could understand it. But
Yeah.
to make a vague patent where it's like, hey, you're catching a creature in a ball, or you're using that ball to free that creature, or you're summoning them to fight your battles. I think Digimon and even Dragon Quest might have
There's a
some
lot
stuff
of
to say about it.
games that, and 100%, like I hear you. And Cage brings up a good point too. It says, can't remember the original game that did stop and pop before Gears blew it up.
Yeah.
Like having different gameplay mechanics, it's like if you patent it and no one has a chance to improve upon it, you kind of stop it there. And I actually don't think gameplay mechanics in general should be patented, or because if you think about where Pokemon could have gotten its inspiration from for open world, let's say you start patenting open world scenarios, and it gets really fuzzy and what's is and what isn't allowed. I think patented characters make sense, patented stories, worlds, things like that, but mechanics of what people can and can't do really just hurts the industry as a whole. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm actually going to list off there's 6 little snippets for the patent,
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of want to read through it. This comes from an article from Forbes. It says Nintendo may be the happy, shiny face of gaming, but it has been on a recent run of collecting industry patents that gamers are not amused with. Now it appears Nintendo may have hit the button with these patents. A new one just granted to the company has to do with summoning and battling sub-characters, and you may see where this is potentially going, spotted by Games Fray. Here's what the new patent covers. 1. There must be a PC, console, or other computing device, and the game is stored on a drive or similar storage medium. 2. You can move a character in a virtual space. 3. You must be able to summon a character. They call it a sub-character, by which they mean it's not the player character, but, for example, a little monster, such as a Pokemon, that the player character has at its disposal. Then, the logic branches out with items 4 and 5 being mutually exclusive scenarios being reuniting again in item 6. So then it breaks down. Basically, what it's saying is when you summon a character, here's what that means. They're basically trying to patent, like, when you have a Pokemon and what the character's traits are, that's being patented. Which is crazy because you know how many games do that, like just that system. It doesn't even have to be a Pokemon, but Final Fantasy does that. Like, there's a ton of games that technically fall under this, but it really just gives them the leeway to attack anybody that they deem is similar to Pokemon. But they kind of go through it. 4, this is about summoning the sub character in a place where there already is another character that it will then, when instructed to do so, fight. So it's saying, like, if the character, if you instruct the character to fight, Like if you summon the character and then you tell that character he can go out there and attack another character, they're patenting that process, by the way. Crazy. You know how many games do that? That they're patenting something that a lot of games are already doing. That's technically Expedition 33, just crazy. Then it says this alternative scenario is about summoning the sub character at a position where there is no other character to fight immediately. So that's how they're also describing it. And then lastly, they say this final step is about sending the sub character in a direction and then letting an automatic battle ensue with another character. It is not clear whether this is even needed if one previously executed step where the sub character will basically be thrown at another character. So they're basically trying to patent the RPG. that's an RPG game that they're basically saying you can't do Final Fantasy. That's like, okay, whose idea was it to pass this patent? Is my thing. Like, what if you just like Cage said? What if you just Wolfenstein just patented the FPS? Like, no one's allowed to do FPS anymore. Like, they're basically just patenting a modern day RPG. I'm just reading the patent notes, right? They're saying if you summon a character and that character, you can tell that character to attack someone else and it can miss or whatever. They are patenting that process. Like, okay. So, like, I don't know how that even got through. Maybe no one even thought to do it because every other game does it. But again, it's not super good for gaming as a whole. Like, it doesn't do anything good for innovation. Nintendo, they're just being some sleazeballs. But I just briefly saw that. I didn't actually read and go through the patent itself. We just did that live. So not good. Let's read some of the chat, and we're going to get through some other event that's also happening briefly this next week, something like that. It's coming up. So Cage says, Cage says these patents are too vague, and Lore Master Jasper, hey, Jasper, it's been a minute. He says Michael Bay is gonna patent explosions next. 100%, yeah. And then Cage follows it up with Wolfenstein patenting the FPS and things like that. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah. If your movie has explosions, you're going to have to pay Michael Bay some money.
Like, imagine it. Like, it just stifles what could be when you get new people coming in the scene and they try something new. Like, Nintendo didn't come up with these things, by the way. They've adopted these mechanics from other games that have figured out what the best way to do these mechanics are. They didn't make this. So, okay. It is what it is. So something else that is happening, just to double clarify for you guys, the Tokyo Game Show is going to be happening September 25th. From the Xbox posts, they talk about how different games will be playable there. We've talked about this on previous shows, but it's coming up. It's right around the corner. Ninja Gaiden 4 will be there. You're going to get some hands-on with the ROG Ally, which we'll briefly talk about in this show because I think there are some ROG Ally rumors as well. Yeah. They're gonna have a Bethesda booth with possible news of Fallout, Doom, and Elder Scrolls at this booth. Maybe it'll be like some teases there. I know the show's coming up, so that could be a cool thing to look out for. Whoever will go to the show, or maybe please take pictures. I will be looking it up. They did emphasize on global partnerships. So for the Tokyo Game Show, I am really expecting to see. For a while, Xbox just didn't have a good presence overseas, so they've been building that up, and Phil has been doing a really good job. So we're gonna see what that brings with the show, how it is coming to fruition. So a couple cool things there. It's right around the corner. Fuzz, any snippets on that? I know we talked about it, but it is right around the corner. So what do you think?
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple of things, especially for Xbox in particular. Like probably the worst kept secret. Oh, it's still a rumor, but I'm gonna call it the worst kept secret at this point.
Mhm.
Um, One of my favorite franchises, Forza Horizon, is going to possibly make an appearance there. And what better way than to announce that it's in Japan than at the Tokyo Game Show? Like, honestly, I think all the planets will have aligned at that point. If we get that type of announcement, like I joked about this on the shop. Like, remember how everybody thought that that was like real photography on Forza Horizon 5 when they were showing the
Oh yeah,
cactus
like
and
that's not
the
real.
tumbleweeds and stuff. And people were like, "Oh, this is why are they showing us live video in Mexico?" And then the car flies by and it's like, "Oh, that can't be the in game. That's no, that was in game. That was actual gameplay kind of thing." I think we get one of those moments where people are going to think they're filming outside the Tokyo Game Show with people walking around. Maybe they're crossing the street and then the light changes and the car comes drifting through the intersection and then we follow the car. Like I could see that being how they introduce it and blowing people's minds and having, you know, um, Twitter spaces on how they're using CGI and that couldn't possibly be gameplay, but it's like this is Playground. They've shown time and time again that they keep getting better each and every time they release a game. So
Yeah.
I don't know why people are going to think that, oh, that couldn't be real. But yeah, I'm hoping that's there. I'm pretty certain it's going to be there, but I'm hoping just so that way I know what I'm going to be playing a lot of next year between that and probably NASCAR 25 or something. But um, I'm also hoping the horror fan in me is hoping that we get more information on Kojima's game because he's supposed to
Mm.
be there
Oh
and
yeah.
having a few announcements. Now, one of those announcements could very well be Death Stranding 2 coming to Xbox. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm really hoping he gives us either a release date or more details on OD. Like
Yeah.
I'm really curious on when that comes to be because it's way too early for him to talk about that other like spy project thing that he's doing
Oh yeah.
for PlayStation or whatever. But
Hmm.
that's also going to be a movie slash a game slash a movie, whatever that might be. But OD, I really want to see it. And like you said, the partners that they have globally, we all know that Sarah and Phil have been taking a lot of trips to Japan. That's how the whole Ninja Gaiden 4 thing came to be. They worked
Yeah.
with, Platinum and the original studio to get that, to make that happen. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some other things like that. Although I'm leaning more towards their partnership with Sega making a big announcement on stage. I mean, Metaphor Fantasio was on their stage when they announced that
Oh
like a
yeah.
year or so ago, or
Mm.
2 years
Great
ago
game.
now. Why not Persona 6? Like, I'm not saying that would break the internet, but it kind of would, especially being on an Xbox stage. But yeah, I could see that type of announcement happening as well. Like, Xbox has been, surprising a lot of people with a lot of games that you wouldn't normally expect on the platform. They've been, I would say, rather consistent with releases in general, which begs the question of when people are gonna, stop hating on Xbox for having no games when it's like they're the only ones with games right now. Um, but yeah, I think this Tokyo Game Show, I'm kind of expecting Forza Horizon. Would love to see some more OD.
Yeah.
Hoping maybe we see some info on Persona 6.
Mm.
I still need to play 5. There's so many games
So
now. I
good.
don't know when that's going to be,
Yeah. I
but
haven't jumped in Metal Gear yet. Like that's one of my favorite games of all time, Metal Gear 3. And it's busy year.
yeah,
I hope
yeah, they're going to have a
but no,
good
that's
show.
good. Yeah, yeah. That I didn't even think about OD Um, I hope Kojima patents that and tells Nintendo they can't use it. So specifically
No
Nintendo.
horror games on Nintendo.
Yep. Yeah, because whatever OD is, apparently Kojima was talking about like how it's never been done before. Whatever the concept is, it's like a new type of game. I do wonder for it to be a new genre. I wonder if it's some cross like hybrid kind of a situation where you're using different devices to play the game, or because like what other genre hasn't been made before? I can't really think of what it could be or how it is new. Maybe it's a gameplay mechanic in the game. Like PT when it first came out, there wasn't really a horror game like PT in terms of you don't really have any weapons. You're in the same hallways and things like that. And then so many games after PT came out, came up with a formula to kind of mimic it.
Yeah.
So I do wonder with OD, like what is the thing? Like what is the game gonna be like? So that's a good point. And yeah. So Forza, we'll see. Cage
The
brings
more
up.
I think the more I think about it, I wonder if OD would be almost like what's that game that blew up a little while ago with the imposter?
Oh, um,
I forget what
you
it's
mean like a
called.
Among Us situation?
Yeah, Among Us. Like,
Yep.
imagine a horror game where it being Kojima's trying this social gaming kind of experience. Let's say it's a multiplayer and you get a group of friends, each one's a character, and slowly but surely, either 4 out of 5 players are going insane, or there's one that's slowly becoming the monster, and that's like you got to
Hmm.
figure out who's becoming the monster first, kind of thing. And
Oh, that could be
do
cool.
you kill all the other characters to, kill the monster and possibly, the potential victims, or do you all try and like figure out a cure or like a uh was it Dead Before or Dawn of the Dead or something like that, where you try to escape before a certain time frame or something. Like I could see him doing
Hmm.
something extremely weird where half the people wind up trying to kill everybody and the other people are trying to like not go crazy or something in the game. Like that would be something in his wheelhouse for horror, because then
Hmm.
people would be thinking, well, if somebody's guaranteed to be the monster, but you become the monster first by killing everybody, then do you win, or is that just show that you probably should not be allowed sharp objects or something kind of thing? So yeah, I'm curious on what that game is going to be.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Kojima is perfectly suited for horror, and not just because of PT, but what he has done in the past with Metal Gear. Like on the PS1, he made it so the main character who was supposed to be main one of the main villains would read your memory card because he's supposed to be a psychic. He would read your memory card and see like, oh, you played Tomb Raider. Like, ooh, like why are you playing Tomb Raider? Like, I remember thinking that was the most groundbreaking. I still haven't seen a game do that. But he's perfectly suited for these hybrid sort of stuff that no one's is really doing. But you got me thinking. I do wonder if they do some sort of Among Us situation where it's kind of, if you guys have ever played Werewolf, it's like everyone goes to sleep, they wake up, someone's dead. That could be really fun, especially if it's random. Maybe every time you play it, maybe that's the new thing. Like it's a single player game with the story and everything, but every time you play it, it's a different scenario. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like we just came up with a new game right there. That could be sick. Someone patent that. Nintendo, don't do it. That could be cool. Cage says Dead by Daylight question mark. And Cage was asking me earlier about like if I can say anything about Fable. I can't. Sadly, you. I guess you could just read my facial expressions, and then that'll give you some hints on certain things. Castlevania, yeah, Castlevania. Yeah. So we'll see what Kojima ends up doing. And shout out to Web Dave. He just dropped some peeps in here. Every single show. So I appreciate you, Web Dave, for always dropping people on in. Let's go to the second topic. So the second topic is Borderlands 4. So I got some gameplay. So I'm gonna pull up a review thread. So the game came out September 12th. I have not had the chance to play it yet. Fuzzy, have you had a chance to play it?
No, like I'm at the point where I think I'm gonna probably wait until they have a sale, only because I know if I get it now, I'm probably not going to touch it until either finish Silksong or at least start Chronos, which that's another game I need to pick up as well.
Okay. Yeah, I do plan on picking up Borderlands 4, maybe towards the end of the year. Um, there's just so many different games. Like I mentioned, Metal Gear Solid 3. I have to, I am definitely playing that. So then we got Silksong and then the Indiana Jones DLC, which I have to check out. So it's on the list, but it's getting pushed back for me. Just because of some of these other games. But came out September 12th. Some different reviews is from CG Magazine saying Borderlands 4 was such a surprise. He gave it a 10 out of 10. The gameplay, story, mechanics all felt so in sync. It's got its hooks in me like no Borderlands game has before. I can't wait to dive in and keep playing. Another person gave it a 89 out of 100, saying all the Vault Hunters are fun to play, making multiple playthroughs or co-op rewarding. Borderlands 4 doesn't revolutionize the franchise, but it absolutely evolves it and sets up an exciting future for the series. And then as this goes on and on, I think the lowest review I see is from it's kind of low, 3.5 out of 5. This is from Entertainment Geekly, saying the new Vault Hunters make combat more dynamic than ever, even if their personalities disappoint. It may not be the definitive Borderlands experience, but it proves the franchise still has plenty of firepower left. You would think when someone says something like that, it would be a higher score, but okay. So pretty decent reviews. It has an 85 on Metacritic. Overall, most people saying it's a solid game. To me, what I find interesting about Borderlands 4 and the headlines that I've been seeing about it is just Randy Pitchford just being Randy Pitchford. Like he said at one point, see if I can find it. He said, man, I gotta find it. But basically, he's just been saying all sorts of quotes lately. Here it goes. So he said, "It's impossible to break our servers. I dare you to try." Right. Mm-hmm. Which like okay. But also not even that long ago. I think it was a couple days ago. Before that, he said, "Running the game below minimum specs would be a miracle." So this to me, like I get what he's saying there. I just thought it was funny that he said it's like impossible to break the servers, but also running the game might be kind of hard. It's just a funny contradiction to me, and not even that far apart. But he's had some quotes over the past few days trying to get people hyped for the game. He mentioned how the Borderlands 4 story was inspired by the sale of Gearbox. I guess I wouldn't know what he means until I play the game to see how that kind of intersects with each other. But overall, people are pretty positive about the game. They like how solid it feels. They feel like it's a pretty good evolution of the franchise. If you guys are big fans of Borderlands, it seems like it does a lot of good things right in terms of the weapons, the pickups is a big thing in Borderlands, getting unique weapons, and it seems like they've done some cool things there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just from what you've seen, Fuzz, is there things that impress you visually? Maybe some reviews that you really like?
Well, I think the only thing I saw is any kind of negative were more so on PC, although I guess it really depends on the hardware you're running. A few friends that have it on PC, a couple of them have 3080s. Another one has a 4080. I think one has a 4070 Super or something like that. Um, you have to run it at less than 4K to have it do, consistent over 60 kind of thing. But that's, I think, more of an optimization thing. Now, some people's post patch, it's worked better. Others, it's about the same, if not worse, stuttering.
Mm.
So it's tough to say. It really depends on your setup on PC, but for console, I haven't heard any complaints as far as anybody from a performance standpoint. I think about the only complaint is a few people waiting for others in their normal squad to pick up the game kind of thing. But overall, a few of my friends in DMs and stuff have been saying, they like the loot, they love the gun feel. I think they're only like most of them are like in the early double digits, like level 15, 12, between 12 and 15. So they're still probably early on in the game and stuff like that. But overall, it looks like they have better shields, better um, weapon choices and things like that. So a few of them got some nice and unique drops early on as far as like some of the shield stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a game that I pick up, just not just yet. There's one more game or one horror game that I want to pick up definitely beforehand, which is Chronos.
Yeah.
But I have a gut feeling I'm going to pick up Borderlands 4 before the holidays, although I would like to get it on sale. I mean, it's great that they went with the $70 price point instead of the $80 price point, but
Yeah,
that
props to them
was,
for doing that.
yeah, that was all luckily resolved way beforehand. But yeah, I guess on my immediate to-do list, I'm more of a Dying Light fan, and Dying Light Beast is coming up, and I guess I
Mm,
bought
yeah.
the Stay Human edition
Hmm.
of Dying Light 2, so I guess I already get um, what do you call it, the Beast game for free because I was looking through like games I own, and I was like, I don't remember getting this, and then it was explained that yeah, if you bought the I guess the deluxe or ultimate edition of the second part, because this was supposed to be DLC and it grew to much larger than DLC. I mean, even comparably, like the first Dying Light had a large DLC. So
Yeah.
I guess they're doing the honorable thing and hooking everybody up that what the ultimate edition with the game. But yeah, I want to dive into that before I dive into Borderlands 4, but I definitely want to dive into Borderlands 4. Had a lot of fun with 3, playing with a lot of people. Um, it's looter shooters are like my like guilty pleasure kind of thing.
Hmm.
Second
It's
to
addicting.
racers, but racing is definitely no matter what, I'm probably going to play it. But looter shooters, I gotta play those, and they're a ton of fun, and their gun mechanics, gunplay, top notch. The variety of weapons and the uniqueness of the gear, top notch. So picking it up, just it might be a week or two
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah. Same. There's just so many games coming out this year. Um, and I do intend on getting it, but I have a list, and I have to go down that list in a certain order. Just for me. But meet the cheater. Let me put up my little chat thing. I'm gonna read some of the chat. See, first off, shout out to you guys popping in on here. We have about 60 plus people in here on an awesome Sunday night. Me and Fuzzy just hanging out. We talked some Borderlands 4. Appreciate as well, of course, Web Dave for always bringing peeps on in right after the show. It's always appreciated, never expected. So thank you, good sir. And yeah, so let's get into some of the chat. So Punty, he asked, that fact that you used to work in the gaming industry or still do? Does it affect how you like games opposed to someone who has no idea what goes on in the background? Um, Sometimes I'll say like it's kind of like, since I'm also in the movie industry, like I like, maybe my brain just works a little bit differently. I like watching bad movies because watching bad movies makes, I have like a thing when watching a bad movie, like I feel like I'm learning from the bad movie, like what makes a bad movie bad. Is it the cinematography, is it the pacing, is it the acting? That's a little bit harder to fix. But I think I kind of look at it like that. When I'm playing a game, I was more so on the asset side. So I was all about creating environments and creating like trees, boxes. Like in Fable, it was a multitude of different things for towns, basing from concept art. So it's a lot of research. I don't think it affects like my enjoyment of a game, but it, like when people take shortcuts in a game, it does bug me because I am like, you could have clearly did this or that. Um, but I can still enjoy a game and not be like etc. Because there's certain studios that are just incredible, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know how the heck they did that. So that still happens, but I can still enjoy a game as a gamer and things like that. Um, but yeah, I will say sometimes I can find myself in moments where I can be a little bit more critical because I'm like, you probably should do a little bit more research into the environment. Like when you guys are looking at games like this gameplay right here of Borderlands 4, I guarantee you they had multitude of conversations about how how to make this level. Like you base it from concept art, like cool, but is it fun to play? And so they've probably had a ton of conversations about that. They probably did a gray box stage where you just play the game with no clean assets and things like that. And you can really tell the games that handle that process, that pipeline correctly, and games that don't. The games that just want to make things look pretty, and then you're like, why does this feel garbage to play? It's pretty, but well, like why is it just asset driven and things like that? So I do look at things from development process, for sure, but I can enjoy things as a gamer as well. We have Cage counting on in here. Meet the Cheater. This is what Meet the Cheater was saying when you were talking about the guns. It kind of got me to what Cheater was saying. I got an AK with a mini gun barrel and an under barrel shotgun. That's pretty cool. Like the mixtures of guns in Borderlands is so cool. I really dig that. There's some really rare guns too in Borderlands 3 that I had. That I had a hard time finding the same type of gun online because you could get thousands and thousands of variations. So it's pretty freaking cool. And Meet the Cheers says, Cage, I'm too messed up to understand that question. Can you elaborate? I don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, that's essentially it. Anything to add to that, Fuzz?
No, but I think they were talking back and forth about Dying Light too. Like
Oh yeah, okay.
Dying Light is one of those games where if you haven't played it in a while, you're definitely going to have to relearn some of the parkour and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure I have the grappling hook in two. Like I know I have the grappling hook in the first one. Like I am overpowered in the first one because I saved a lot of those rest not the supply they were like supply crates or something, and there was a glitch where all the supply crates that you had, if you turned them in, they leveled you up like ridiculously at some point. So I wound up doing that after the following DLC, I think it was. But two, I stopped about midway through. Um, and I there's just been so many other games that I wound up falling into that I haven't gone back.
Yeah.
But the Beast version, I think, is more in tune with what I like because I like the first one, I think, more than two. I like the movement in two, but I like the story in the first one because it allowed you to just kind of roam around and be like, oh, I'm gonna go out at night and get supplies and try and hide and be quiet and not get killed by the vault the what do you call them ones that are like the scariest ones out there that remind me of like the I Am Legend vampire
Oh
zombies
yeah.
kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that game primarily because they now have added a lot more variety for their zombies. Like I think they said there's like 27 different types, or maybe it's even more than that. But like the varying levels of decay, the different like uniforms that you'll see, like obviously you'll see police and military and regular civilian stuff, but like you'll see a jogger more than likely, which it kind of
Mm.
reminds me these past few years as far as zombie games have been pretty awesome because what was it, Dead Island 2, I think it was, the one that took like 12 years or something for them
Oh
to
yeah, that took
make.
a minute. Yeah.
That game was phenomenal. Yes, it was a little bit shorter than what I would have probably liked, but like I think that was a good thing because it was short and you can play other characters and kind of run through it a totally different way playing as that other character. But yeah, Dying Light Beast, The Return of Crane.
And
Yeah,
there's
I'm gonna
rumors
have
about
fun.
the next uh Dead Island coming out too. So
Hmm.
we'll see.
I can't get enough zombie games. Like
Yeah.
I want something at some point that's more along the lines of 28 Days Later, although you kind of get those fast zombies now in a lot of games where they feel more like rage zombies
Yeah.
than normal zombies. Like even State of Decay 2, the ferals. The feral zombies are like a perfect example of like that 28 Days Later kind of person or thing chasing you down, which that's another game I can't wait to hear more about. Like I'm hoping we see that next year for State of Decay 3. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah. I love how like it's a zombie season again. So it's hitting October. That puts me in the mood to play some horror games and things like that. So I'm probably gonna play Dying Light. I'll play some Dead Island.
Mhm.
Play a little bit Dead Rising. It's a little more
Yeah.
on the arcadey side, but I love the first one because it reminded me of some other um, horror movies, and being in the mall and things like that. It's based
Yeah.
on those, but um,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go through some horror games for sure in the next few weeks. Um,
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to Dave Reezy for the $5. Appreciate you, man. Um, would you play a racing game on the new Virtual Boy, Fuzzy? You can save money and buy the cardboard cutout and still get a wonderful experience. Laughing emoji. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I would probably give it a try until I got a headache. That Virtual Boy, if it's still the red and black, like no, no. My as I get older, my eyes feel older. I don't want to, quicken the damage to them any further. Um, yeah, that's the one time I might skip. Like I was hoping, and this is the probably the I wouldn't say the big thing that upset me about the Nintendo Direct, but I was hoping for like a modern day F-Zero. Like I know that there's that Fast Fusion game, which I got on the Switch 2 right now. It's kind of like Wipeout. I like it a lot, but I want an F-Zero game. Like I want a modern day F-Zero. And they have F-Zero 99 that you can play, which is like a ridiculous multiplayer, and you got people jumping over edges and stuff and cheating, taking shortcuts. But I want a new F-Zero. I want a new F-Zero that looks modern, like the way, like if you remember how the upgrades of Outrun used to look from like Sega's old days of the Master System versus the arcade,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually the arcade looked like pretty much a narrowed down version of like the early days of Forza Horizon kind of thing.
Right.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I want an F-Zero to kind of be not, well, I don't think they could make a Forza Horizon equivalent for F-Zero, but like something closer to that than F-Zero 99. That come on, Nintendo, you got to do it. Or Star Fox even like that. That's another one. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Like Nintendo right now, they are really just hyping it on Mario, and maybe they're like, we'll do a sprinkle of like a Metroid and some other stuff. But they have some cool characters. I would love to see some more Star Fox, some F-Zero stuff as well. Um, so appreciate you, Dave Reezy. That's awesome. Punty says, appreciate the answer bit. Most people that ask that question are that aren't, I guess he's aren't that open and patient, or they give a generic short answer. Yeah, I mean, we always try to have a chat with you guys and answer honestly, whether it's a hard question, easy. We try to have a good conversation with you guys because we appreciate you guys jumping on in here. And me being in the industry, I'm a gamer just like you guys. I know I'm in a unique kind of spot because I'm a podcaster slash gamer slash in the industry. But I nerd out just as much as you guys about a variety of things. But I do know I have a little bit of a different view being in the gaming industry, and working on some of these franchises and seeing how it is behind the scenes. But yeah, no, I appreciate you for coming on in. We got the Sousa saying, does Borderlands really look better than 3? I can't tell. To me, it looks the same than like as 3, but I don't know. Fuzz, do you think it looks a little bit better?
I think it looks similar, but some of the gear that I've seen some of my friends have for their characters, I think it's a little bit of an upgrade, like a little more detail on like some of the finishes of the armor, or like some of the things that you can pick up. Like there's some silly references in there, like the hot dog stems or whatever
Oh
kind
yeah.
of thing. But yeah, the graphic detail, it's slightly better, but I would say the bigger thing is probably on console it plays smoother. PC is where it's kind of like a mixed bag depending on your hardware and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Meet the Cheater says, in Dying Light 1, I like when you get so strong you can walk around at night and you are the scariest thing in the game. That's the thing in Dying Light 1. To me, it was definitely more horror-esque for me. Like it felt definitely intimidating, but the gameplay in Dying Light 2 was freaking amazing. So it's like I don't know. I like both of the, but Dying Light 1 definitely felt more horror-esque at nighttime. I was like, oh my gosh, when it was nighttime, I was panicking. Yeah. In Dying Light 1. So I'm trying to read through. Appreciate everybody for dropping in. I'm trying to get to all you guys chats. Max says, we got Gucci bit tonight. Yeah, I just had to get a little hat. I didn't feel like, doing my hair or anything, so this is what you guys get. Mac22 with the $1.99. Appreciate you, Mac. Says, Fuzzy, you're not that guy. Say no to cardboard hashtag.
I don't know if it just feels weird that Nintendo's pulling out the cardboard again. Like,
yeah.
One of these days they'll do real VR. Like,
yeah.
Before the Switch 2 was announced, I was hoping they would do something like the Quest 3 kind of thing. Like, I'm like, Nintendo is moving up. They don't want to do the same type of hardware back to back because usually it doesn't do as well. I mean, the NES, the Super NES, that was like their exception, and then after that, it was kind of like hit and miss between them, where some did better than others. The Wii U after the Wii didn't really do well, so maybe they were going to go with like VR after the Switch. Yeah. Now we got it where the Switch is like VR cardboard kind of like it. People did that with their phones a few years ago. Like, why are we doing this again?
Yeah, I remember getting. I went to a college and they were just handing those out at like a giveaway. Like, hey, it was like these little boxes. You could slide your phone in it, and you're like, whoa. Yeah. It's that's Nintendo. That's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Prince Green says, "Yep, turning 40 this Halloween, and I finally started wearing glasses. When I'm in front of the computer, eyes definitely feel older, so I need bigger screens for my smartphone and PC." At Fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's it's one of the bad things that they don't tell you about when you get older. Your eyes start to get a little blurrier. You wind up either having to hold something further out or real close to see it. And it's like it's funny. Like I sometimes I wish I could videotape me and my wife looking at stuff on like packages and stuff. Like, what's the expiration date on this? I don't know. And then she's like, wait, put the flashlight on it or something. Like, oh my God, we need new glasses. Like,
Yeah, I'm getting to that stage where things are definitely getting blurrier. But I'm stubborn, so I'm like, I'm not wearing it. But yeah, I definitely, I'll like wear glasses when I'm like driving because I want things to look, 4K when I'm driving,
mhm.
whatever. But yeah, I'm getting to that age too. Things are getting little Vaseline, a little bit. So a little Unreal Engine, blurry rocky, It's just a little bit. Read a couple more, and then we'll get to our lasting thoughts, and then we're gonna go to the Silksong because I am really curious of what Fuzzy thinks about it. We'll get to what he thinks. Meet the Cheater says, "I know Cage. Everyone tells me to get it. I'll get around to it. Right now, there are so many games. Yeah, there's a ton of games right now. Meet the Cheaters and sharper than 3. I think I read. So yeah, appreciate everybody. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everyone for coming on in. Sorry, I'm pulling up all these different things. All right. So Borderlands, we'll see. Might get it, might not. Well, I'm gonna get it just this year. I don't know. We'll see. I might wait for it to drop down a little bit in price while I play the Indiana Jones DLC, Metal
Oh
Gear
yeah.
Solid 3. I'm gonna definitely check out Hollow Knight. I'm definitely gonna be playing some more. Yeah, just too many dang games.
And
So
then Outer Worlds 2
oh
or
yeah, Outer
Ninja
Worlds
Gaiden 4
2.
or actually trying to squeeze in both of those before the year is out.
Yeah, what are some games coming out toward the end of the year? They got a couple games launching at the very end of the year. Outer Worlds 2, when does that come out?
I think that's
That's
October, I think.
October. Okay. There's
I
too
think
many
Ninja
names.
Gaiden might be like the first week, and I think Outer Worlds 2 is like second or third week or something like that.
Okay. And is Lego Voyagers the end of this year? Or is that already out?
No, I think that just came out.
Okay. And Ghost of Yote, is that October?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, see, there's too much going on. I will say I don't plan on playing Ghost of Yote till I play Assassin's Creed. Okay, I have a whole plan. See, this is why I have a list, right? So, in order for me to play Ghost of Yote, I can't justify playing Yote when I haven't finished the first one.
Mm.
That's just me. So I have to finish Ghost of Tsushima before I touch Yote. But before I do that, I was like, I want to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. So
That's going to be a tough one.
yeah. So
I almost and I don't mean to badmouth Ghost of Yotai before even playing it.
mhm.
I almost wish I played Ghost of Yotai before AC Shadows. Like
Mm,
I think the reason why I'm not as hyped about Ghost of Yotai as I was with Ghost of Tsushima is because everything I wanted to see as an improvement in Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed did better.
yeah.
Like better than what I would have even asked. Like the different weapons, the weapon types, the different styles of play, which, yeah, you're playing two different characters and they have two totally distinct types of play. You can kind of mix and match a little bit, but because of that, the weapons that are finally making their appearance in Ghost of Yotai were in AC Shadows, and
Yeah.
they come in clutch. Like Yeah, it's going to be a hard sell at that point. I mean, I'm still getting Ghost of Yotai, but it's going to be like I'm almost going to feel like when I'm playing, it'll be like Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. I know that's what I'm going to be thinking because it's going to be like, hey, these weapons are great, but after playing AC Shadows, it's like I don't know if they'll be better.
Yeah.
I know Ghost of Tsushima was a great game for me, but Ghost of Tsushima to AC Shadows, I love Ghost of Tsushima, but AC Shadows just like
It did it for you.
blows it out of the water. Like
Mm,
it is what I would have expected to be the next level for Ghost of Tsushima. It did a lot of things right. The
yeah.
visuals I think are going to be even better on Shadows than what they will be for Yotai. But I'm not buying a PS5 Pro. I'm not. I'm not doing it. But then again, I played it on PC, and then there might be some bias because, well, I can play AC Shadows on my PC. I can't play Ghost of Yotai on my PC yet. It would have been nice if it was a day and date. Maybe I would have bought it on PC first and call it a day, but I'm still getting Ghost of Yotai. It's just I think AC Shadow spoiled it for me.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be that guy and probably one of the few voices out there would be like, you know what? Don't even bother with Ghost of Yotai. Just get AC Shadows and wear the yellow outfit like kind of like what you see, and you'll be fine. You won't miss Ghost of Yotai at all. You'll be okay.
Yeah. And and some people in chat are talking about your video thing cutting out. For now, I put your little pixel
Oh,
guy.
oh yeah. Oh crap. I just realized because I'm on battery power, that's probably why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all good. And while he fixes that, I put your little pixel character up there.
Okay.
Um, for Assassin's Creed Shadows, like I really want to play that. Like hearing you hype it up, Mav was hyping it up. The environments look super beautiful, and I'm super interested in the character Yasuke and everything. So that's on the list first before Ghost of Tsushima and then Yote. So that's why this is going to be a long year, and I don't always get games like right away. So it is what it is. Um, and Mac was saying 3-bit dev work. Yeah, I'm ready. If his thing cuts out, I'm ready. But it's back on. All right, so we're gonna cut to the last topic of today. Appreciate again everybody for popping on in. This will be for Hollow Knight Silksong. So there's been some pretty good reviews on Hollow Knight Silksong. Let me pull up. I have to do some gameplay too. There we go. So I played a little bit of Hollow Knight. Again, not enough to be like, oh my gosh, I played hours of this. But just enough to kind of get a grasp. I didn't really play the previous iterations of the franchise, so this was new to me. The game is challenging, which I love. I love challenging 2D side-scrolling games because for me, if you're going to be challenging, like, I don't know, like there's a way to do it, and I think it does it really well. It's all about like learning the patterns and things like that, and it's easier for me to grasp that in a 2D space. That's just me though. So we have some early reviews from Games Radar, praising the atmosphere, saying the precision combat is amazing, the handcrafted design. There was also the community angle where they honored a fan who sadly passed away from cancer. They had like a heartfelt gesture, showing how much the development studio Team Cherry cares about their community, putting this kind of honoring that fan, which is amazing. This game, people waited a long time for this game, almost as long as Elden Ring, I think. But it looks like the patience is paying off. It's not just some DLC level expansion. It's like a full-on kind of sequel to the game. Now I'm looking through some of the different reviews. It seems like people are vibing with it. There was some people who played it on different platforms that are getting some bugs for launching the game. They said they are addressing that as soon as they can. But it is here. It is here. So Fuzz, I'm just curious of what you think about it, how you're vibing with it in general, like the bosses. Tell me a little bit about that, and yeah, what do you think about how it's here? It's finally here.
Oh
It
yeah.
was almost like the I don't know, like certain like the Half-Life 3 for a bit.
Yeah.
But what do you think, man?
All right. I got to start with the slander first.
Okay, okay.
Um, apparently, this service called Game Pass
Mm-hmm.
doesn't cannibalize games as much as people thought.
Oh,
You
really? I
know,
thought it did.
fi- yeah, 5 million people playing,
Oh.
500 concurrent on Steam. I'm pretty sure there's a few mil on both, Xbox and on PlayStation each,
Mm,
that are playing this game. I believe it's on Switch as well. So yeah,
oh, yeah.
it's a great game for handheld, but yeah, I guess Game Pass really isn't the monster that, the media makes it out to be. Yeah. Okay, so I'll start with price point. $20 for this game. I know there were some in the media that were like, oh, this ruins it for other devs and blah blah blah. And it's like, I played first Hollow Knight. Great game. I think the whole handheld PC or portable console thing fits well with that type of game. Like same thing with Hades, same thing with Dead Cells. I mean, there's a ton of these types of games, Metrovanias that work well on a portable device, something
Yeah.
bigger than your phone. Like you could probably still play it on your phone with a Kishi or something, but on like these handheld PCs or handheld consoles, whatever you want to refer to them as, this game just fits. That being said, I'm pretty sure they could have got, $30 out of people and it would still sell, I would say, almost as well as it's selling. They could have probably got $40 out of people and it would have probably still done well. It was still done better than the first one. And this game is an improvement in many ways, shapes, and forms. Although, be it does seem tougher if you probably haven't played Hollow Knight in a while. Those first few bosses, you're going to get your butt kicked quite a few times. But once you get past them, I won't say the rest gets easier. It's just that you're in that mindset of what to avoid and what to be prepared for. So this is a tough game. You're going to die a lot. Just know you're going to die a lot, and you're going to have some spectacular deaths, and you're going to have some surprises because there aren't, or at least I don't have it turned on, or maybe I'm looking in the wrong part of the screen while I'm trying not to die. I don't see life meters on these bosses. Now you can see some damage that they take. They look either a little, I won't say bloody because it was like green guts on the one guy that I was fighting, but like on some of these bosses, it's like, oh, you got him down and you do that kill blow and it slows down and you're like, yeah. And then motherfucker gets up and is like, nope, I was just joking. And you're gonna die. Like
Yeah.
you better hurry up and bind and heal yourself and hope that works. But no, now they're throwing beams at you from every part of the ceiling or jumping on your head or just, you got to be prepared for sometimes for that second life for the boss. Sometimes there's two bosses or sometimes there's multiples with their ads and it's a tough game. Just know you're going to die a lot. And worst case scenario, just try your best to get as many of the tools and things like definitely get the quill and the maps first. Early on, you're probably going to want to keep the compass on you so you know where you're at on the map. Um, there's no shame in looking up guides. There's no shame at looking at maps on the internet to know where things are. I do it. It's the best way to survive because, and I don't want to give spoilers. There is an area, I believe it is called the Mist.
Hmm.
It reminds me of Silent Hill. When you're in
Oh.
Silent Hill, if you don't have a certain tool, just run away. Just don't even try and play it. You will play for hours and drive yourself insane without this tool that they don't tell you need. You just
Yeah.
go from room to room to room, and it seems like it never ends until you die, and then you wake up there again. So just if it looks like Silent Hill, you think it looks like Silent Hill with the fog and stuff, and you don't have at least some of the later game tools, just run
Mm.
away. Just avoid it like the plague. That's all I want to say. But it it's a fun game. It is a tough game. And it's actually taught me where I messed up on the first one because I couldn't figure out fast travel on the first one. So I
Yeah.
got to the point where the bug is taking you on the cart or like a little train station kind of thing. And I couldn't figure out where to go. Maybe it's because I didn't find all the locations for him to go to. But now I know that's what I probably need to do to unlock the other locations that I can travel to. And I felt like I was stuck. Um,
Mm.
but now I know how to figure that out. So eventually, when I get back to the first one, I'll be able to progress from where I was. But yeah, doing okay with this one. Playing it a lot on the Steam Deck.
Oh yeah. I was about
Anybody
to ask
that's
you.
a fan of or on the fence of Xbox Ally, if you're picking this up, if you're picking up the Xbox Ally, this is the game to play on it, along with
Mm.
Dead Cells, along with Hades, the first one, and eventually when Hades 2, which if you have a Steam account, you can already get Hades 2. You don't have to wait until Nintendo's exclusivity expires. But like Silksong at $20, that's that sweet spot, the sweet spot price that even if you know you can't get to it now, you'll probably pick it up. It's not like, nah, I'm not saying everybody, because some people are going to wait for a sale. Oh, I'll wait until it's like $9.99 or whatever. But $20 is that perfect price point where you don't even have to really think about it. It's like $20, yeah, I'm going to eventually play this. I might not play it today, but here's my $20. If it
Yep.
was 30 or 40, maybe not as many people would jump and not even think twice kind of thing. It's kind of like when I was talking about when games went up to 70. Like back when games were 60, there was a lot of games I would buy. Like perfect example, um, was it Just Cause? Just Cause 3 and Just
Hmm.
Cause 4. I knew I wanted to play them. I bought them the day they came out or pre-ordered them or whatever because they were like the normal price of a game.
Yep.
By the time I got
15.
around to playing Just Cause 3, it was already free in PS Plus and games with gold. So it was like I wasted money. I could have had it for free. Um, but this is that type of game for $20. It's a no-brainer. Pick it up. Just don't throw the controllers. I'm pretty sure, like at least for me, I'm the type that might throw a controller, but I've gotten a lot better as I gotten older because I don't like rebuying stuff, especially after telling my boys I'm not rebuying you a controller. You break the controller, you're gonna buy your own replacement
Hmm.
controller. Playing on the handheld, that's a lot more to replace. So I just know to put it down if it starts
Or
getting
just put
frustrating.
pillows. Put pillows around you. Just be ready.
Put a pillowcase around.
Yeah, that way if
No,
you throw it, it's like boing, you catch it again.
no, but yeah, this game a big improvement as far as the types of enemies, the types of mechanics. I like the different areas. Some areas are going to be a little more damaging, but there are devices you can find to help, so you don't catch a fire as fast or take on poison as much, or have those little like not lice. What the heck are they? They're like I forget what you call those things, maggots or something that stick to you or whatever that you have to bind or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or try to keep on swiping at type of deal. But it's a fun game, a frustrating game at times, but a fun game nonetheless. Prepare to die a lot. Learn from your deaths. Like I said, I wish I would have recorded stuff because I've had some spectacular deaths. Like I said, there was a boss I just knew I killed, and then they
It
got
says
up.
leech, or someone said leech or ticks. One of
Yeah,
those.
and there was like the boss got up and kicked my butt, and then there was another boss that kept stomping on my head, and for whatever reason, I couldn't move fast enough, and I wasn't paying attention to the highlighted on the ground, so now I know where they're stomping on your head, and it was like everywhere I
Mm.
was going, that's where it doesn't follow you. So if you stand somewhere, just don't stand there no more, and you won't get your head stomped in. But yeah, that's the beauty of this game is that you learn from each one of those bosses, and it's going to be a different attack uh, type of system. And it's not quite Dark Souls, know their pattern kind of deal, but you can kind of like hack and slash your way through some of it. Some of it you can't. You're going to have to patiently deal with them or avoid their attacks for a bit and then get them. There's one or two areas you can cheese because there's like a higher thing you could stand off to the side or something like that. So there are some boards you can cheese, which I know some people are against cheesing bosses and stuff,
Hmm.
but yeah, every now and then it doesn't hurt cheese through a boss to get to the gear piece that you want. So that way you can throw multiple knives or blades or whatever kind of thing. And don't forget you can upgrade your, I keep on wanting to call them badges. What the heck are they called? Crests. Like you
Okay.
have different crests and each one has like a different type of build to it. So it's almost like the thing I love with looter shooters with different builds.
Hmm.
In those, you can do that same thing with this. So it's got a lot of things that gamers love in other games, but it's a Metrovania. If you're not the Metrovania fan, I totally understand. I say still give it a try. It's in Game Pass. It's not going to hurt. But if you do get frustrated to the point where you want to toss that controller, yeah, just put it down. But just know that once you get the hang of some of the combat and knowing that you can't stand toe to toe with the other bugs, you're going to have to jump around and fly around like you're a different type of bug kind of thing. And that's where it really gets fun because some of them, some of the bugs you fight are like dung beetles or dumb beetles or whatever, where they
Hmm.
just they have a staff and they're gonna smack it at you, and if you stand there, obviously you're going to take damage, but you could jump over them and then kick them in the back or stab them in the back, and then they drop the staff, and it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun game. Enjoying it. Definitely need to go back to Hollow Knights, the first one, and pick up where I left off because I got stuck like a knucklehead with the fast travel stuff. The fast travel in this is fine. Got a few spots open. I finally made it through the mist area. Like I said, if it looks like Silent Hill, avoid it until
Just
you
run
get
away.
it. Yeah, I don't want to tell you the tool that you need. You could probably look it up on YouTube if you do. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a tool you'll need, and if you don't have it, it's going to be a frustrating half hour because I don't think
Yeah.
that even when you think you figure it out, they purposely make it so you can't figure it out. It's
Mm,
it's almost like the
one
game
of those things.
takes you a certain amount of paths and then it tells you to go in the opposite. Well, it doesn't tell you to go in the opposite direction, but I didn't realize until I had to look it up that I was like, oh, I need that tool. Okay, that makes sense now. And then when you get it,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this would have been so much easier. Like it's like a 5 minute board instead of
Hmm.
an hour and 5 minute board.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And I love those moments when something you mentioned with when you are playing a game and it makes you realize like if it's a sequel of a game and it makes you realize something else about the first the first game. Those moments actually happen to me quite a bit. I'm like, oh, it makes you almost unlock a certain thing in your brain where you can appreciate another game. um Something I like to ask, because this is like an interview almost, because again, I haven't played it enough to kind of justify a position on the game. I always like to ask what you like about the game, and it seems like you like the exploration and a couple different mechanic things you can do. What is something you
Yeah.
don't like about the game?
Okay, so this is the tricky part. Like
Hmm.
the save spots sometimes. It seems like some of them are perfectly positioned after the boss, but there's like two bosses that it's a bit of a hike to get to.
Okay.
And if you die, you got to go through what feels like 30 enemies to get back to where you were. And sometimes it's not the enemies that are the problem, it's the environment. Like
Hmm.
there's, and I'm pretty sure this isn't a spoiler because even the cover looks like it shows you the lava board,
Yeah.
but there's like a lava and hot ash kind of area where if you don't have a certain tool, just running around in that area will catch you on fire. you have the tool on you, you won't catch on fire as fast, but it still puts a toll on you, especially when it's like, oh, I gotta go 5 minutes here and then up and then back and then up. And it's like if you die to that boss before you like get through all of that, or there's like I think the other one, there's like a broken chair where the safe spot would be great,
Hmm.
but I have yet to figure out how to unlock it. Now I wound up killing the boss, and that chair's still broken. But I looked up later, and there's like a switch somewhere that I don't know why I didn't find it. Like I've the thing I like the most is like you said, the exploration because there's like secret paths and stuff. Like if you ever see something in the corner that looks like branches or misplaced bells or rocks or something like that, depending on the tools you have, just start hitting at it. And if it looks like it shakes, it's probably a secret pathway on the other side of it.
Okay.
And there's a lot of those. Now, some of them won't work until you get other tools or weapons later on, but there's so many secret paths. And that's the main reason how I found the mist area and then
Oh, is that not on
realized,
a main path or?
well, you can get to it via a main path, and there's
Okay.
also like a secret path like where you can break through a wall. And I broke through the wall first, and I'm like, oh, this is a strange board. I feel like I've been in this room again. Okay, this is the same stupid room again. Okay, wait, I I fell in the fog and now I'm waking up back in the same courtyard. Okay, let me try this. And then I kept doing it and I was like, all right, I've been going from room to room for like an hour and a half now, or not an hour and a half, but it was like probably at least a half hour of me going from room
Mm.
to room to room. And it felt like it's like, oh, that's that same tree. Well, there's no trees there. I mean, other than the main
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
courtyard, it's like a little area, but when you're going through that area, it's like I remember this bell tower type thing or this gear thing spinning around. Like, all right, so let me go to the opposite side. Okay, I'm back here, but I went in the opposite direction. So I was like, where can I go? I think I
Mm.
purposely jumped into the fog to wake up to be like, you know what? I'm going in the opposite direction. And that's the best advice I can give people after a while. Like I said, it's like until you have a certain tool, you're not going to know where you're going.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to make sense. I mean, stuff looks like it makes sense. Like, oh, I'm supposed to go up and then over here and then up and then over here, and then it's like that's the same person I just killed or the same screeching meanie thing. Or like,
Yeah,
there's
like same
some
area.
weird bug things stuff that you'll see. But yeah. And then it's like, oh wait, I noticed this pattern, and then I follow that pattern, and I follow okay, it just brought me right back to where I started. It's like because you start thinking, well, maybe it's a pattern on the wall, or maybe it's a light, or maybe it's a gear, or maybe it's a door or window. No, no, just run away. Just because it's a trap. It's a trap, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all it is. But yeah,
I mean, that's the kind of catch 22. Something I talked about in another episode is like the opposite of that when they over explain it to you, like in God of War,
yeah,
like before you can even solve it. Because it can be fun to solve things.
Mhm.
I know it can off put some people if they're not really that patient enough to go through that experience. But for me, I kind of yeah, like basically you going through that scenario, like oh, I don't freaking know, and that click moment can be really
Mhm.
fun because the click
Yeah,
moments for me can be unique experiences or yeah, it could be like a journey for sure. But I can also see how that could be like frustrating. Like okay, let's get it going. I'm just at the same time, but no, I'm gonna be looking out for the misty area. A game I do really love that is Metroid like, and it did kind of remind me when I was playing it a little bit was Dead Cells. You mentioned it too.
yeah.
That is my favorite 2D action platformer that's kind of like a roguelite with Metroidvania style exploration, has like Souls like combat. And yeah, I that made me realize I do like that genre. I can
Mhm.
like that genre if it's done in a certain way where I can. if it's more simplified for me, and I
Yeah.
think Dead Cells did a good job of kind of breaking it down, um, and making me appreciate the genre itself. But definitely looking forward to Hollow Knight. I'm gonna play it some more probably tonight, honestly, right after this. And what when was the misty area? Was it like really far in, you think, or was it kind of near the
For
beginning?
me, because I kept running through different board areas, I want to say it's somewhat early.
Okay.
But like I said, I found it by accident breaking through a wall. There's one way you can walk directly to it type of thing. That's
Mm,
like I would say the third or fourth area that you'll encounter.
mm,
But I hit it as the third area and then realized I probably shouldn't be here. Um, and then I went back and then I wound up unlocking two other areas first. And then that's when, because I started looking at guides and I'm like, how do you get the, oh, you have to get another tool. So I started going back to the other areas I kind of blew through. And oh, that's where that tool is. Okay, so I didn't get the tool for the miss. I got the one that you'll need to get to the tool for the miss. And it's like, okay, now it all makes sense because I was way I wouldn't say under leveled, but it was I don't know how I wound up breaking a wall where I probably should have had a different tool than I had,
mm.
but I kept on spamming the slice at this one corner. And sure enough, it's like, oh, I can tunnel through here. Oh, there's some flying bugs that I'm gonna run away from. And then that's where it wound me up in the mist. Because it's like, I want to say it's not a sewer area. What is it called? It's something well, like
Mm.
it might as well be the sewer area because it's
Okay.
like that's where like I not really leeches, but I get they look more like maggots kind of thing, but
You like remember
they're
the maggots by the area where the sewers are, which is near the mist,
yeah.
essentially. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna look
So
out for that. But let me read some of the chat, and then we're gonna get ready to get on out of here. Appreciate everybody for dropping on in, having great conversations, including bugs. You guys, I seen you guys talking about bugs and leeches and stuff. There are a lot of bugs and leeches in Hollow Knight, and I only played for a little bit. I'm like, ugh, battling some of these things. So just be ready. I forgot who mentioned it, but someone was talking about. Oh yeah, it was Cage saying um, bugs are the only thing that make me scream like a schoolgirl. It's why I can't play grounded. Um, yes, the spider. Like I don't even get that scared of things. Like I'm not scared of heights. I'm not super scared of bugs. Roaches do gross me out though. I hate roaches. I think they're the worst. Um, but the spider in grounded is it does something to me. I
Mhm.
agree. There's something about that spider in grounded where I'm like, ooh, it does not make me feel good. I will say. They made a whole mode just for arachnophobia. So
Yeah.
that says a lot for some peeps. So yeah.
Quick story
Mhm.
at my old job. Coworker of mine had that moment. Like I don't know if anybody's seen Accepted, the movie with
Mm.
I forget the kid's name now. Well, he's not a kid. He's like a grown ass man. But where they were going through where they were making a fake school, and a skeleton drops out of the ceiling and he screams like a schoolgirl.
Oh,
Um,
this movie. Yeah. I forgot
yeah.
about this movie.
One of my coworkers had that moment where and it was like out of the blue, had that schoolgirl scream moment, and it was deserved in a way. Like I worked where we had convertible vehicles. Jeeps are convertibles, and a lot of people like leaving the tops down or the windows open. But this was like 5 or 6. It had to be at least 5 or 6 years, maybe even 7 years ago or so. And stink bugs or the whatever you want to call them, depending on the area, were like new to Pennsylvania. Like people kept on saying, "Oh, they're coming in from the Chinese imports, blah blah blah, whatever." All I know is around my company, which we did have a lot of stuff imported, but I don't think these bugs were from that directly. These bugs
Mm,
just kind of came to America or to the Pennsylvania area out of the blue. And a buddy of mine, we were getting ready to go to lunch. He didn't have his doors or windows on or anything like that. And we go to sit in the vehicle, and I feel the carpet moving under my feet. I'm like,
mm.
there's something under your carpet, dude. And he's like trying to look around, looking at the floor.
Hmm.
And my other buddy's sitting right next to me in the back seat of the Jeep, and he's like, what the heck? So the owner of the Jeep pulls part of the carpet back, and there's like hundreds of these stink bugs. Like,
Mm-mm.
if you've ever seen what it looks like in those horror movies where bugs are crawling over everything and it's like you can't see what's under them, kind of thing, it was
Yeah.
like that. And all I know is when he pulled the carpet back, I jumped out of there because I didn't want them crawling on me. But the other guy had that like high pitched squeal, and I didn't feel so bad jumping out of the car as quick as I did after hearing him squeal like that. But it was
He's like,
almost like
"Ee!"
just like in the movie where it was like, we'll never talk about this ever again. Like I think I'm driving my car where I don't keep the windows open. I didn't bring the Jeep today. We'll just take my car. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
And we'll figure out the bug situation under your carpet. He wound up pulling all the carpet out, and I forget what he sprayed in there, but it was
Mm.
like I guess some sort of
Bomb
defogger or
something.
something to scatter all those stink bugs and stuff. But man, I never heard a high pitched squeal like that in my life until pull the carpet. I jumped like I'm not getting crawled on, and he was like,
It's
I
always
can't even
like,
do a squeal that high. But it was like we all stopped. It's like we'll never speak of this again. Almost like the movie. I was like, yeah. I think I'm driving. How about that? I don't think we use the other guy's Jeep for the lunch trips anymore
Mhm.
for a good while. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Understandably. It's always funny. I seen this one guy. He had a really deep voice. He was like, "Hello, everybody," and a cricket or something landed on his head. It was like right on top of his head. He did not feel it. I was like, "Dude, there's a cricket on you." He's like, his voice went up like 10 octaves. It was, I understandably, you know, there's certain bugs where, like, I don't know, the people who live in Australia that have to deal with some of that stuff, and they can't. Australia, like, you try to spray a bug, they're like, "What the heck are you doing?" It's like,
Bug might grab the spray from you and hit you.
yeah, it's like, give me that. Those are the bugs in Australia. They'll spray you with the bug spray. So I'm blessed to be in Georgia. See, Meet the Cheater says we get tons of stink bugs in Georgia, where we have some bugs for sure, but we don't have like a huge arachnid that you have to smack with a broom and things like that. But we do get some bugs. We get some bugs. Let me start reading the chat. Appreciate y'all. There was one. Someone asked me what the end outro music was. I think that was Mac. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna cut to the outro and I'm gonna read it really quick. Let me see. Rockaway music, end of the world, something like that. Um, so yeah, something Rockaway music, end of the world. Look up something referring to that. So look, I checked it out just for you, good sir. So see if you can find it. Satnus says it's like Dark Souls 1 versus 3, where checkpoints were more spread out versus a bit too close together sometimes. Yeah, I get that's for this the the developers probably spread out the checkpoints to make you panic a little bit. Like, I completely get that can be a thing where they do that purposefully, to kind of get you kind of antsy, like, oh my gosh, give me that checkpoint. But yeah, sometimes it can be not good at the same time. So it's a balance they have to play with, and I have to see if they do it well. Um, Meet the Cheater says, I never knew they help in God of War with puzzles, solve them too fast. I didn't know people were mad until I saw a video about it. To me, it was really obvious. I'm talking about Ragnarok. I don't think they did it in the first God of War, but in Ragnarok, I would just walk up to the puzzle and he'd be like, "Have you tried moving the bucket?" I'm like, I didn't even see what the puzzle was yet. And he's telling me like how to solve it. So to me, it was super obvious, especially like the when you get towards the end. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I I don't know. It was just super obvious to me. Nisa Hauer says in one YouTube short they say follow the fireflies. For Hollow Knight, there's fire. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, there's a you need a tool to follow them kind of thing.
Mm.
I
So
don't
you
I
need
don't
a
want to
tool
spoil it
to.
too. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, but that the fireflies are the key to that board.
gotcha. Okay, okay. And Mac, I answered your question. That's the outro music. If you can't find it, let me know. You can message me. I forgot where I got it from, also, so it might be on YouTube somewhere. It's like royalty free music, so I don't get hit with constant copyrights. She says I just killed a black widow and grounded about 5 minutes ago. That's your twin, Fuzzy Tomato. So he killed a black widow. Meet the Cheater said got tons of stink bugs. And Dayreezy was saying we have huge fat crickets in Nevada that feed off the dead and other dead crickets. Dang, they just be making all sorts of bugs. This is the new release. Appreciate y'all. That will make it to the end. Let me put us in the thing. And that is it for this show, y'all. Appreciate y'all for dropping on by for this week's episode. This was episode 48. Me and Fuzzy had a break last week. It'll just be inconsistent until I finish this show. It's a trailer to a show I'm working on. There are some celebrities in it. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit to announce who's exactly is the celebrity that's in the show, but it's a cartoon I worked on. I've been working on for 3 years technically now, but I'm starting to finally develop it, and I kind of just made it as a test to see how to make a cartoon show, like what that does that entail, and then I started pitching it, and it's getting a little bit further than I anticipated. So it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to share with you guys. But no, I appreciate everybody who's dropped in here. Every single time we do a show, you guys show up and act like it was like we were just here all the time. So thanks for dropping up by. Fuzzy, please tell people where they can find you on social media and what you got going on, man.
As always, love doing this show with you. Just love talking about the gaming industry and all the stuff happening, games coming up, and all the great stuff as far as whether it's the games that we play, or if it's some of the craziness involved with the patents and what
Oh
companies
yeah.
do. Yeah, it's always a fun time. And thanks to everybody in the chat. Greatly appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you, Web Dave, for the raid. As always, we greatly appreciate the support. Don't forget, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on social media. Just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere. You'll be able to find me. And some horror stuff. Me and the wife have horror podcasts Fridays, Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. We just did the review of Pitch Black. We also did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. We're probably going to do a follow-up on the Conjuring. Got to see that. I think that was last Sunday. Pretty good.
Hmm.
Definitely, if you're into the like paranormal stuff, definitely give it a watch. And also, we're doing a paranormal episode. I guess the Everett Theater in Middletown, Delaware, is a little haunted, and
Cool.
some friends of ours that have a paranormal company did some research there and or some investigating there. So we'll have that episode coming up here shortly as well. But as always, play some games, have fun, attack that backlog before the holidays because it's already stacked up as it is, and be safe out there. That's all. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and lastly, I always try to look at the final comments before we get on out of here. Um, Punty says the outro music is tight. Always got me hype at the end. Got me up dancing in my room in the dark. No Diddy. Yeah, it's a pretty fire outro song. If you can't find it, Mac, I'll try and put it out on my Blue Sky, or if you just DM me, I'll try and track it down. I found it a while ago, so if that's not the title, then I'll just send you the track. But everybody say great damn show. Appreciate y'all. Georgia represent. Good show, guys. Don't think we don't see the drum set in the back. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying some drums. But no, appreciate y'all. If you guys agreed with us or not, let us know in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. It's always appreciated, never expected. I am 3-Bit and signing out. Have a good one, y'all.